Sometimes you just need time to lend you a bit of perspective. That's 100% the case for me and with the Pixel 6 Pro, a phone I personally dismissed in the early days as I decided which Pixel I was going to pick up in late 2021. The story I told myself made a lot of sense back then, and I can still appreciate my decision, but it doesn't mean that it wasn't misguided. For a minor reason last week, I put my SIM card back in the Pixel 6 Pro that we keep here in the office, and since that moment, I've fallen in love with Google's premium phone. So let me tell you why. About a week ago, I had this thought. With the Pixel 6 and PUBG new state, there's been this persistent jitter in the controls when you drag your right thumb across the screen. It isn't there nearly as much on other phones, and so I wasn't sure if this was like a tensor related thing or an issue with the actual touch sensor on the Pixel 6. So I figured one way to check was by trying this game on a Pixel 6 Pro, since it clearly has a higher end screen and just maybe a higher touch sampling rate. Now, it wasn't the perfect experiment, but the jitter was far less noticeable, and again, I'd attribute that to the superior screen on the Pixel 6 Pro versus the Pixel 6. And perhaps there's some tensor-related issues too, but none of that's really the point. What is the point here is I needed to test something on the Pixel 6 Pro, and after I used it for just a few minutes, my interest was all of a sudden rekindled. And while I didn't fully resolve my initial issue with the Pixel 6, it did put the Pixel 6 Pro in my hands for an extended period, and it completely changed my mind on Google's flagship phone. First and foremost, I immediately noticed a difference in the feel of the device in my hand. While my Pixel 6 is nice to hold and it feels more like the Pixel aesthetic of old that I'm more used to, there's no doubt the Pixel 6 Pro is nicer in every way. It looks more premium, it feels more premium, and with a better case on it, I'm not really too bothered by the curved edges of the display anymore like I was early on. In my earlier video about these two phones, I felt odd about the Pixel 6 Pro being such a Samsung or OnePlus-esque type of device. I've always loved the understated and simple beauty of Pixel phones through the years, and the Pixel 6 Pro was a big departure from that. I'm not sure what that says about me psychologically, but I just wasn't ready for that sort of vibe back in October. I wanted all the niceties of a Pixel in a familiar and simple body, and the more premium Pixel 6 Pro just didn't deliver that for me. But my hangups with the premium feeling phones in general, including the Pixel 6 Pro, are definitely gone now. So instead of feeling a bit put off by the build quality, I'm actually loving it now. And that quality of parts is at its peak when we start talking about the screen. It's just flat out mesmerizing to look at. With a larger 6.7 inch measure that flows over the edges, there's an immersion to this display that isn't matched by too many other phones out there. It's bright, it has wonderful colors, and the extra resolution and the bump up to 120 Hz refresh rate are things that my eyes are picking up on. While I still contend that 1080p is enough for phones, the extra pixels and crazy smooth refresh rate just make things feel so high-end, and after 6 months of looking at the Pixel 6 screen, this display has me drooling a little bit every time I turn this phone on. While I was watching videos or playing games on that luxurious display, I was also reminded of the delicious speakers on this phone. They are absolutely some of the best phone speakers I've ever heard, and they make viewing content of any type an absolute joy when combined with the screen of the Pixel 6 Pro. I remember the speakers being good. I just forgot they were this good. Another thing I forgot about and swiftly recalled was the haptic feedback on this phone. It is intense, but it's also tight and controlled. It makes things like typing or catching notifications that much better. I miss alerts a lot on my Pixel 6, but I've had no issues like that since switching over to the Pixel 6 Pro. And I absolutely love typing on a device that have haptics this good. It's just a pleasure. And then there are the cameras. The addition of the telephoto lens came into play immediately for me over the weekend on a trip to Churchill Downs as we were getting photos of the kids. That's just a trick I can't use on the Pixel 6 no matter how hard I try. And the 4x telephoto lens that the Pixel 6 Pro has is just as crisp and colorful as the main shooter, so I don't have to worry with degraded photos when I need to get in a little bit closer. Additionally, I forgot how much better the selfie cam is on this phone versus the Pixel 6. Colors are better, the image is sharper, the view is wider, and the overall experience of using it is just better. Again, this is one of those concessions I was okay making back in October, but I've really enjoyed having a better front-facing camera this past week. Finally, I've noticed what feels like better perceived performance in the Pixel 6 Pro. The only difference in the two devices is 8 gigs of RAM in the Pixel 6 versus the 12 in the Pro, and I've long advocated that 8 gigs of RAM is plenty, and I still kind of lean in that direction, but there is definitely a difference in performance with the Pixel 6 Pro. Perhaps it's a combo of all these premium pieces coming together and making me think that everything's better or faster, or maybe it's just the word Pro in the name, or maybe that 4 gigs of RAM is really making a difference. All I know is PUBG New State runs better on this phone than it does on the Pixel 6, and in the normal daily flow of moving through all sorts of apps, I don't ever notice any slowdown. And with Apex Legends Mobile running like an absolute beast on both the Pixel 6 and Pixel 6 Pro, you can read all about that over at chromeunbox.com. I even feel like I have a proper gaming phone in my pocket now too. Now, is all of this to say I was wrong to choose the Pixel 6 in the first place? No. Does it mean that those of you who chose the standard Pixel 6 somehow made the wrong decision? No, it's still a fantastic phone at a really stellar price point. It has the Pixel experience that makes Google's phones so great to use, and there's nothing inherently bad about it. But there's no denying that there are real and worthwhile upgrades available in the Pixel 6 Pro if you're willing to pay for them. And my early dismissal of those features, for me and users like me, was a mistake. This Pixel 6 Pro I'm using doesn't belong to me technically, so now I'm in the process of selling my Pixel 6 and upgrading to the Pixel 6 Pro. It's that serious, and I'm not too big to admit that I was wrong. But guys, that's it for this one. If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up, head down there, hit that subscribe button, ring the notification icon as well if you'd like to be alerted when we make future videos just like this one. Until next time, we'll see you.